them. HWA turned on them, aced them,
Forced to fight.
Game over. So pick and bans are underway, and this is going to be a little bit different, of course. We are seeing the Lee Sin bans come in there, which is actually HWA did ban out both times before. This time it's been banned against them, and actually heavy jungle ban presence as well. Jarvan on the table still, Pantheon taken away, but somewhat surprised to see an Annie ban. It's a support, actually, we've seen in Korea. Again, this morning, it's starting to make a reoccurrence as it was at Season 3, of course, Tabe on Annie, sort of making it presence. But now Jarvan bans out. What the hell are they going to play in jungle? Vi's got to be like one of the first picks now.
I mean, Vi, I don't really...
Sejuani!
Sejuani, that was the next thing. Next thing at the tip of my tongue. And yeah, aren't Annie banned so soon as well? HWA, for some reason, really do not favor that. I mean, it could have even been a mid lane pick. I say that because I know that Leo likes to do sometimes things a bit differently. Okay. So, I mean, that's of course a possibility as well. But then again, turning our attention to BPI's bans, very standard throughout. Bread and butter, Lee Sin, Pantheon, and Aurelia taken away. Picks you're expecting to see in both the jungle and top lane. And over, HWA taking time with their final ban.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see whether Aurelia was played. It wasn't played by HWA, but it is still a strong champion. Yeah. No, it was Games 2 took it. Both games, so nobody banned it away. So it's a little strange, that ban. Of course, these two teams know each other. They've played in the Turkish scene against each other for the last 2 years, so nothing completely new to them. Nah being taken away, of course, that does mean one is going to go for the first pick. Will they go for a jungler? Will they maybe try and lock in a Corki? Corki was a big player champion for the HWA AD carry, Zeitnot, whereas... we look at BPI, Ritix actually played a plethora of things. He played at 3 different champions, 3 different games. So maybe that won't be the route. Mid laner, wow. Insta-locking a Syndra. That's an interesting one. Okay, so Syndra was banned by Hard Random in 3 games, in all 3 games. So clearly this is something that Lille is known for.
Oh yeah, he played it. He plays it so very much. Even in previous games, you go through VODs and all you'll see first ban against BPI is Syndra. Now, the question is, HWA, have you gone and said, we can deal with that and left it open? Or have they sat, I saw your face when you saw it. Or have they said, okay, they haven't done their research and instead, I mean, they Annie ban, that could have easily been a Syndra.
So,
stop.
Olaf actually makes...
speculating.
No, Olaf actually makes sense. Because Pops Ragnarok runs straight through the stun. So you're not stopping me, Syndra, I'm coming straight at you. That's actually a possibility. Kassadin, champion we've seen already today and yesterday and the day before that, doing fantastic things in the top lane. Could be a top laner, could be a mid laner. Let's not speculate too much because Lissandra's just been picked up.
Damn, speculation gets caught out, but no, very solid top laner. Fabulous, I haven't seen him on it though. I mean, Fabulous... probably taking that away from Nasus. Nasus was very instrumental on Lissandra. He played it twice in his previous games. Wow. Really very strong on it. In fact, his scoreline was pretty impressive. 6-4-18, so very good in the early game because he wasn't taking the kills for himself. Every single time he had a TP, even his first TP, instead of going back to lane, he was using it into the bot lane. And Lille is just messing with us. I didn't even have to look at the screen. I just looked at Lee's face as he's just going through a couple of champions he's definitely not going to be picking.
Definitely not going to play.
But we can talk about the AD carry. We have that one confirmed. Zeetnot taking Graves. And again, that's something we saw Ritix do fantastically on previously. 15-9. He was a huge part of the victory for BPI Phoenix.
Yeah, it surprises me a little because he went with Corki to begin with, and then again Corki both games against Games 2. But Graves was taken away from him in one of those matches. But yeah, we've already seen how strong Graves is a number of times. Sejuani again.
We said it. We were sat there like, what are they going to pick? Hang on, Lee Sin, Pantheon, Jarvan gone. Straight on with the Sejuani.
Why not go to Sejuani? I mean, actually... they have really good lockup right now already. This is just, I feel like we've just watched this match already. Sejuani, we've just seen it in 2 games in the best of 3. How well it works for Aces High. Diamond Prox, of course, showed it in the Intel Extreme Masters in Cologne. Nami with the wave coming through. Another big AE stun. Everybody saw Faker with his crazy play on Syndra. Everybody's seen that stun. So we can see how big this could work out for them. They already have a really scary AE team comp.
It's true. It's terrifying. And the lockup, I mean, just the Nami in general as a support is going to be so instrumental in these team fights. And I'm going to be really intrigued just to see what HWA address here with their next 2 picks. 14 seconds on that clock, and they're taking their time. Perhaps a spanner in the works is with that Sejuani pick.
Yeah, it's something they need to try and figure out how the hell they're going to counter it. Ajana makes sense, I think, as a support because it's almost certainly one of the most popular ones out there. But wow, there is the Olaf. I have not seen Olaf jungle I'm assuming it's an Olaf jungle.
Yeah, no,
it could be Olaf top lane.
I'm pretty sure, and I heard Jason say this before.
I'm pretty sure it's jungle.
In his research, Stonemage does play Olaf jungle. So, I mean, that is something that he's confident on.
It makes perfect sense, though, against the stun lockups that BPI have right now. Going to be a weird one, though. Tristana was actually locked in by Ritix in the last game of the quarterfinals, so not surprised if that con comes out.
Yeah, Tristana, of course, very late game-based AD carry. And so, looking at this composition, it is fantastic for those mid-late game fights. They've got so much lockup that you can just have a Tristana at the back line with a huge amount of attack speed, a huge amount of AD, raining in
range
damage
as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's the main reason Tristana becomes so relevant late game. And I mean, they're hovering over Maokai. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. Of course, Sejuani quite tanky already, but a little bit of extra tankiness is probably welcome in this team fight, welcome in this composition. BPI going to be picking that one up. They take the Maokai into that top lane, and HWA, they've got an interesting composition here. That Olaf intrigues me.
Well, I mean, there's no doubt about what BPI want to do. They want team fights. That's 100% they want team fights. There's no doubt about it. But I did just talk about how good HWA were with team fights. They have a Graves. We've already seen how successful a Graves can be. And Olaf running through there, running through your back line. It's going to be tricky to get onto a Tristana. You can just jump away. Yeah. So it's going to have to try and catch on towards him. Janna in there as well to knock everybody away when they rush in. HWA countering it pretty well here. What are they going to go with? Will they leave Lissandra in the mid lane, or will they pick something out? Let's have a look at what they played before. Xerath and Jace have been the two picks in the last quarterfinals. Orianna on the table is a possibility. I actually quite like Xerath there, but Orianna would actually be very good, because if they pile in, then it's like, well, no. Yeah, they can either use the ball to slow them down as they come in, or they can just shockwave them.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to be confirmed. WTC very instrumental on Jace. He got camped relentlessly and continued to be really present on Jace. Instead, though, he didn't want to go for that poke. He didn't want to go Jace. Didn't want to go Xerath. He wanted something different. He wanted the Orianna, and we've already highlighted the potential that Shockwave can provide in just pulling them away and disengaging a fight as well as engaging.
Yeah, you've also got a scary ball delivery system in a Olaf that you can't actually crowd control.
Stop.
You can't stop him coming at you.
That's true.
He could just run through everything you throw at him and then boom, ulti on your face. So you're going to have to think about this one. I wonder when the last time they played an Olaf. You talk about Storm-aged, I should say. Storm-aged, I think we're going to go with. Storm-aged, I'm not too sure. Obviously, they played BPI probably last season. I'm guessing you may have pulled out then. I'm not a Turkish expert, I've got to be honest. I know their likes of Aces High, Dark Passage. I don't know HWA that well, other than Fabulous, who, of course, got the pentakill at Gamescom 2 years ago and almost got it. Had it stolen away from him by Holy Phoenix, actually, this year.
God.
Not this year anymore. We're in 2015. In 2014.
I'm still doing that 14 cross out 5.
I hate it. I hate it. Yeah, I have to write a new date. You're like, this just feels weird.
It's not right.
Yeah.
Anyway, dates aside, once more, I feel like I'm going to be repeating myself, but that Sejuani, this is a sign of something to come, I feel. I think we're going to be seeing this a little more because, I mean, just thinking about it, in terms of you start building a team fight comp, you've got AoE lockup, tanky jungler, which we're going to be seeing more of already, especially once the 5.2 patch hits. And I mean, I'm intrigued just to see if we're going to be seeing this more. Crimson's picking it up. We haven't seen him on it before. Jarvan, Pantheon were things he used to, and immediately got banned away from him.
Yeah, we'll see which way it builds as well, because, of course, last time we just saw Boots of Mobility having to be picked up fairly early on, actually, in the previous matchup. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The game is about to get underway. If you've just joined us, this is the League of Legends Turkish Invitational, International Invitational, I should say. And, of course, the prize for this tournament is 10,000 euros split across the board. 5,000 for first place. That's what they're all after. And, of course, the pride of Turkey, Dark Passage, are out. The big #1 team that everybody knows from the World Championships. Aces Higher in the final. They've just knocked out SK Gaming Prime. Somewhat surprising both myself and Alex, I feel, because we absolutely had them nailed on, especially after the quarterfinals, for being that #1 team. Instead, we'll see who joins them. Will it be BPI starting out on the blue side or HWA on the red side?
Yeah, and let's read through the BPI roster. Introduce those names for you. Nasus in the top lane. No, not Nasus. Nasus. Rocking the Maokai. And actually, we'll talk to that in a second. Let's look at the damage Ritix is taking. Is he not just pushing him back? It's going to perhaps stop them from taking the Krugs at the start. Instead, he's going to have to be forced to go back to base. But finishing off that roster rundown, Crimson on Sejuani in the jungle. Leal in the mid lane on his favoured Syndra. And in that bot lane, Ritix and Masterwork on Tristana and Nami.
And for HWA, of course, it is Fabulous on Lissandra, who was almost caught out of position there. We just caught a glimpse of. Storm-aged on Olaf in the jungle. Yes, you are not seeing this incorrectly. It is an Olaf in the jungle, something I've not seen personally for about 2 years, I think. WTC, we're going to call him in this one because he has a dodgy name. WTC is his name in this, thankfully. He's on Oriana in that mid lane for HWA, and Zeitnot and Lelouch. I think we're going to go with on the Graves and Janet in the bot lane for HWA.
Yeah, it's going to see how this one shapes up at the start. I was actually surprised to see Ritix did go straight back to lane. He's going to be actually not going to be leashing his jungler. I think they feel the clear on Crimson is going to be strong enough. He's going to be taking those crones, taking relatively little damage to clear that one out. Instead, both bot lanes not opting this time to start with a jungle camp.
Yeah, it looked like he went with the charge. I can never remember what it's called. The Flail of the North Winds. Of course,
it rolls off the tongue.
That was not what I was expecting. I actually thought he'd gone with the Arctic Assault. He did go with the Arctic Assault. He may have just leveled up as I just started looking at him, actually. I didn't quite catch a glimpse of it. So we also just saw the Maokai. Maokai doing something different there. So he obviously went with a leash ball, and he's going into lane at level 2. So just teleported to that top lane. So teleport already used.
Yeah, he uses TP, and that's a cooldown. I mean, it should be okay. It's not really something we see too. I mean, we don't see cost anyone too often. If he gets pushed out lane early,
we're
that's
not going
to
see a gank within 3 minutes, which is what the cooldown is. It should be okay. Well, you never know. It might be do.
Yeah, I mean, Lissandra and Maokai, we've seen it before. Lissandra struggles to push a Maokai out of lane. She's got that poke from her Q, but, I mean, 18 seconds on your passive before you can do that free damage that she can exert. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where that one takes us. In the meantime, in that bot lane, a matchup between two incredibly strong AD carries. Two AD carries who are incremental or detrimental to the enemy teams previously. Interesting to see where this one goes.
Instrumental.
Thank you so much. I was sat there with, like, it ends in mental.
Incremental.
Incremental.
They're mental. They're mental down the bottom lane here. Mental, aren't they? Oh, blimey. Speaking of Olaf, look at him. He's coming around the backside, and he may well make an approach on this bottom lane. They've pushed up heavily. Tristana, not known for being that strong early on. This Aqua Prison absolutely has to be on point. And HWA completely catching them BPI off guard here.
And Ritix saving that rocket jump. You can see perfect execution from BPI. They did it absolutely down to a T. They knew if Ritix was... I mean, really, that comes down to the bot lane. Lelouch and Zeitnot needed to force the leap, needed to force the flash earlier before Olaf made an appearance in lane. He didn't, and of course, that results in very little. I mean, they forced the flash, that's something, and perhaps we'll see a resurgence in that bot lane before that 5-minute mark.
Yeah, we may also see a return visit in the mid lane as well, because look at Seshwani. He's making his way around. You got to try and find the right key for him. He's got it. Crimson Cud does sneak around onto WTC in this mid lane. He's been stunned up. There's the assault. Does manage to get the slowdown on him. Has to flash away. Has he got enough to try and get away from this one? No. He's going to get caught, and Charge will be back off cooldown any minute. There's the Ignite going down. First Blood comes in, and it is Lille on Syndra.
Syndra.
That's Sandra, I was about to say. I don't know where that's...
She sounds lovely.
Seshwani and Syndra all mixed in one.
Yeah, well, Sejuani, Syndra, either way, they pick up the kill. First Blood goes in favor of BPI. And that's going to start tipping the scales of the goal already. Look at that, 1,000 already. We're only 5 minutes in, and we are pretty much there. And both junglers have done some shopping. Stalker's Blade and Ranger's Trailblazer, respectively. Actually, picking up the Ranger's Trailblazer on Sejuani, which is the only item we've actually seen now in these two Sejuani games. We soon will be Sejuani experts.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing it so often now. Diamond must be loving this stream right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But going back, of course, this is 4.21. We're not on the 5.1 just yet. We're not on 5.2 either. We're not on 5.1 just yet. We are on the tournament realm, which is obviously always put 2 weeks behind. So every time you ever watch an LCS show, OGN, anything like that, the only difference being an IEM is generally the patch will always be 2 weeks behind. If it's just gone live, I think 2 weeks in the future, that's when it will go live on a tournament round. It's the easy way to do it. Of course, it's making sure that there's no crazy bugs that manage to sneak through there, in which case champions may need to be disabled.
And with that
as
patch,
they have on 5.1 as well, I think. I think Maokai's already been disabled.
Oh, there's a problem with the tree. Talking to Maokai, the Nasus versus Fabulous matchup is going as we expected. Pretty much a farm lane. You can see both of them pretty level in CS. Slight advantage to Fabulous as he just claws away from the clutches of Crimson. And it continues to go exactly As you might expect, neither of the players really been forced to use any of their regen, which surprises me a bit. I feel like perhaps Fabulous could be doing more damage and pushing Nasus a little further out of lane, but seems pretty calm on the top.
One thing that surprises me, actually, as we missed Syndra going down in the mid lane. It was a jungle gank from Stumaged.
You can replay.
We could, but I'm not going to bother. Didn't even get to use his shockwave either. That was just a clean kill, so that was already on him, unless he just leveled to 6. I think he might have just leveled 6 on that kill. But going back, what I was surprised to say is actually that it's an Olaf using a flash and not Ghost, because that's ordinarily what you would see, obviously, to pair with Ragnarok to just plow through. But I guess he's gone with flash. We'll see. Of course, it may well just be personal preference. Personal
preference, yeah, but I mean, remember that fantastic idea of the Ragnarok ball delivery system, and that Ghost would have been a perfect complement to that. Getting him even more movement speed. I wouldn't be surprised if we had seen more movement speed, of course, provided by the Janna, just the pick in general. And so, I mean, it made sense to go Ghost, you're right. It's interesting to see if we can see some fantastic flashy plays from the HWA jungler, but in the meantime, we're seeing a whole lot of sweeping lanes being picked up on either side. The battle for vision is going to start kicking off already, as 2 members on either side start picking that one up. The mid laner and junglers, Ritix and Masterwork, still doing solid work in that bot lane. You can see CS exactly level. However, in terms of who's going to recall first, it all comes down to those junglers. And talking of junglers, once again, look at Crimson. Onto his buff already, as is Stomach. These junglers are on par with their clear times. Yeah, they're going very quick. It's clear to say, which is actually something you wouldn't expect with these 2 junglers, especially when everybody else is banned out from the initial picks. If you have just joined us, that is why we are seeing a Sejuani versus an Olaf. This is not your standard stuff. Both Lee Sin, Jarvan, and Pantheon were all banned out in the opening pick and ban phase. It does, of course, mean that Storm-Aged, well, he's going to find himself this pink ward. And say thank you very much, and we clear that one out. Oh, God, that bull already doing some serious damage to Syndra in this mid lane. Yeah, look at this buy. She's got the Fiendish Codex, which escaped me for a second there, and the Null Magic Mantle, as well as double Dorans. That's a big chunk of AP for so early in the game. So WTC, he has that advantage, and we'll see if he can extend that, obviously, just to the Fiendish Codex and Forbidden Idols. So this is really his moment where he has the advantage. Lille is going to complete the Morellonomicons, and that's when it will change. But right now, you can actually see the 2 junglers going head-to-head. Oh, perfect Ragnarok. They could maybe make a move for this one, but Lille stunning off WTC to put a spanner in that one, and they back away unhinged. But look at the damage Stomach managed to put out onto Crimson. Crimson, he's already got his Sightstone again. It seems to be very common already. I say in common, just comparing the 2 Sejuanis we've seen already. So that's interesting, because he put the ball in him. He actually had Shockwave available, but WTC didn't choose to go for that fight. I'm not too sure whether it was because obviously there's ulti, flash, ignite, everything available for his counterpart Lille on Syndra, who was sat watching that all occur. It's a very passive play, I think, to say from HWA. But there it is on my notes: solid team fights, cautious play. That's what I've learned from their quarterfinals, and that seems to be how they're going. Yeah, very cautious and reaching that 10-minute mark, just 2 kills exchanged on the Rift so far. Gold incredibly level as well. Both of these teams seem relatively early matched in the early game, and we were talking about late game. We were talking about how scary the BPI team fight will be, and HWA, if they want to kind of secure a bit more safety, a bit more security, they need to start making moves around this kind of time frame. Well, blue buff picked up by both mid laners, so that's going to be safe. The 80 carries had both been back. Zeitnot actually waited a little bit longer, and he went for the pickaxe, along with that BF sword, which you can see Ritik with. Top laners going at it, actually. Let's have a quick peek up there. Fabulous getting caught out, a touch by Nasus. Do not be confused when we say Nasus. We don't mean Nasus. When we say Nasus stuns, you go, oh my God, Nasus doesn't have a stun. What do you mean? We're talking, of course, about Maokai, which is what Nasus is playing, which, yes, I agree, for us commentators, is really annoying. Yeah, I feel like if someone started playing under the name Lissandra, I think they'd be a bit told off. But everybody used to get confused when I used to talk about Garen, the cameraman. Garen, the cameraman. Garen, what used to be the cameraman in bushes. On the LCS. It's like, what? Garen? Who's Garen? Garen? Garen's not playing. We're not going to see a Garen pick, I don't think. Well, in the meantime, names that are slightly easier to pronounce, Zeitnot and Lelouch in that bot lane, arguably pushing that wave in towards the turret. And, of course, as we reach that 11th minute mark, the Dragon is going to start being more and more of a possibility. Bot lane so evenly matched. Junglers haven't really made too much of an appearance. I feel like we've seen a lot more of Stomach down bottom than we have Crimson. Yeah, absolutely. We've not seen too many
visits as Crimson comes down here. Just to sort of like underline the point. Oh, that's a good wave. That's caught him with Aqua Prison as well. Comes around the side. Ultimate available for Crimson. Throws it out. Catches one, but not a second. The rest of his team decided not to back him up. This is a little sloppy. Talking about HWA doing big team fights. Now Syndra comes in. This is a big play. Lil has to land everything he can. There's the ulti. Will only take down the support though. They're going to try and take him down. Does get a second. I feel Stomach kind of gave him that one actually. Walking back in. Not too sure why he went back in there. But WTCN, where the hell were you? Everybody else was there apart from you. And you could have cleaned up there. They may still get a kill. He's going to come back around the side.
Yeah, but look, Syndra's there as well, and Syndra's got a fair bit of health as well. Here comes the shockwave. Nasus going low, but not low enough. Oh, it's Hella Porky Pie. He goes down. Xenot, no. He's trying to keep his mid laner alive. The heal and command protect is all it takes to secure his safety. But for how long? That Syndra's still standing. Just going to have to clear that wave and fill in for that bot lane in their absence.
We saw actually how strong Scatter the Weak can be in that team fight because they all literally collapsed and then boom, a lot of them got stunned up quickly. They're going to turn it straight into a dragon fight here, and this is going to be picked up with ease, no doubt about it. BPI, solid pickup. Yeah, and no TP. There's nothing they can use for a response. We saw how much HWA committed to that fight in the bottom. It did give them that lead that they were after. Gold is in their favor, but as the first dragon comes in, BPI going to be taking that as a bit of a consolation prize, it feels. Yeah, Aqua Prison caught on the Lelouch there, and they're looking to try and create something here. They're picking on Crimson. Lelouch being very aggressive, hoping that the rest of his team come on. Trying to force a flash out of Crimson. Instead, he just uses that assault charge. Oh, both got caught with the Howling Gale. Lille taken very low. He's going to get picked off here. That is a surprise. Huge overextension from Lille. He didn't have the mana to play that game, and it was a dangerous game anyway. Instead, Crimson backing away to survive another day. I mean, already he feels pretty tanky. As just warding up, Stormage just going to be clearing out the enemy jungle as he has the advantage. He knows that Crimson's going to be forced to, I say forced, but back to base. He's not, as here comes the bot lane. Ritix and Masterwork doing swift work, but look at that. Stormage cannot be slowed, cannot be knocked back. Instead, he's forced to run away, though. Ragnarok spinning away, Xenot trying to keep him alive, and look at his health. He has a millimeter of HP, and Xenot just wailing on the fish. Masterwork's going to be turned into sushi. Lelouch just here watching on the sidelines, as already, look at WTC. If I press the right button, he was hanging around in the enemy jungle, forcing Crimson away from that fight. I mean, look at Crimson's HP. He was nearly taken down as well. And 7-3, HWA extend their lead quite considerably in such a short space of time. Well, they are certainly very good at fights when it works and when they're in the right place. And my God, did they get away just about there. Stormage baiting in Tristana and Nami to chase, and it gives a free double kill to Xenot. That's not what you want. You don't want to give a Graves, who's just picked up the Infinity Edge, that fight. And more importantly, where the hell are you fighting when the Graves has got an Infinity Edge and all you've got is a BF sword? It was a crazy fight that they should not have taken, and instead they've been made to pay. HWA go back. Now he's got Berserker Greaves, so he's got almost the full item completed, well over him. Does just manage to save the tower, but that just needs a quick breath of fresh air, and that tower will fall as well in the bot lane. So HWA looking solid in this opening 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You're looking incredibly solid, and it feels to me that BPI, they just got caught out. I mean, as soon as you did that dragon, most teams you'd see hit that recall key, get out. And I mean, a credit where it's due, Lelouch kept them there. They were like, what's this Janna doing? Let's kind of, it was a bit of a bait play, really. And actually, look at that in the blue buff. There seems to be a bit of an exchange. They don't want Crimson taking that one easily. Leo's going low, so very low. He's going to get eliminated by Lissandra again. It seems to be the same story every time with Leo now getting caught out. WTC going aggressive. This is such a contrasting style of Orianna play that we saw from perhaps Energy. I mean, this is completely different. It almost looks like a different champion as WTC so aggressive, so up in the faces. I do miss a kill in that bot lane. Ritix taking down Nami, and they're looking for more. They're looking for blood. Well, they're going to keep forcing him away. That will be, of course, the bottom turret going their way. There it is. First turret of the game. HWA keeping that advantage is a big advantage as well. It's almost 5,000 gold 15 minutes in. This is a gigantic lead for HWA. And remember, you don't get any gold from those dragons anymore, so you can't counter it. It's simply all about that lane phase, the kills, and the towers. And that's exactly what they need. Nasus doing what he can to keep that wave clear, but now the middle turret being focused. Uh-oh, Lille caught out once again. Does manage to get a scatter the weak, but Crimson being pulled in by that shockwave. WTC does what he needs to do and takes down that jungler in the mid lane.
They were a distraction tactic. They just pulled Syndra away from that one, let the magic happen on its own. WTC extending now to 3-1-2. 3 kills, 2 assists to his name already. He's got his Athenes. He's probably got a whole lot of gold. And look, the action continues. Zeeknot going so low, but not low enough. Finally, Leal connects with the Q. Ritix is looking to do something as well. And Lelouch is taken down, adds a 5th head now to his mantelpiece. And Leal, he does have the kills, but he does feel like those 3 deaths were unnecessary.
Yeah, while that was all happening, top turret goes down. Fabulous still pushing up that. And now HWA reacting. They're in defensive position. Leal actually caught by that slow there. That's why he had to get that scatter the weak on them just about in the right place. WTC, though, forcing them away, keeping those in that ball control to keep them covered off there. And it will instead be defended for now. For now, 2 clean turrets up for HWA. They are starting to gain some serious control on this map.
It does feel like that's the case. And Dragon, 1 minute 44, that's going to keep ticking away. And of course, BPI previously did get caught out. They didn't have the team fight they wanted after that Dragon fight, and I think they're going to be very cautious if they do approach this next one. It's most likely going to be the next team fight. Stormage already feels like he's being a real presence on the map as Olaf. You can see his build. He's gone for that Warrior Enchant into 2 health crystals. And now, as time still ticking away, 1 minute 20. Battle for Vision already in full swing. Lelouch at the forefront of that one. And HWA making a push down mid.
I'm very confused by what BPI have been trying to do. You know, I was talking about why they went into the fight earlier on after they took the Dragon. You know, they've got a Tristana. Tristana's not strong early game. It's not a strong mid-game champion. It's going to be a hyper carry effectively late game. Yeah, sure. But not at the moment. And now looking at it, he's 40 CS behind because Zeitnot's just pushed that entire bottom lane in. And he's way behind in items now. They should not be engaging right now. They should just be playing passively, defensively. Stick to your turrets. Try and get a ward where you can. But don't engage them constantly.
It's not what they want to do. It's not what they need to be doing at this stage. You're absolutely right. BPI, they should be playing it so much differently to how they're currently structuring their attacks. And well, I should say attacks, more like they get their kind of skirmishes. They're getting caught out left, right, and center, quite literally in that top, middle, and bottom lane. Nasus kind of been pretty silent, pretty quiet in this game. Picked up his Rod of Ages now and his Merc Treads. Pretty standard build path we expect to see on all those Maokais. But then you can turn your attention to his counterpart. 2-0-1 on Lissandra. Fabulous. He's already got his large rod. We're seeing a TP in that bot lane. And we're also seeing a kill. Well, you're not seeing it because my camera, it needs some work. Hey, I'm learning on this Observer. But look at the response. Here comes the TP. Here comes the wave. Zeitnot with the knock-up. And now for HWA trying to make a move on towards Masterwork. But he is going to be pretty much cornered in. It's one dead support. As WTC actually been coming in to secure that one, getting the nice share of the gold, share of the loot. And of course, Dragon's up now. That should be a 5 vs 4 fight. The BPI just cannot fight. So 5 vs 3 fight, of course, after missing their death on Ritix. It's 12-5, and BPI, Crimson's considering a steal, but that would be a huge error.
Nah, he's just trying to see if he can throw anything in there, have a little peek. It's not going to work out for him. So, a horrible catch out there as well. And, you know, Zeitnot, like I said, why was they challenging him? Why were they getting caught out of position like that against an AD carry that's already got Infinity Edge Zeal completed when you haven't even got your Infinity Edge, let alone your Zeal picked up there? So Ritix not too sure why he got caught out in that position. We didn't quite catch it, of course. So teleports were both used. That's why they were used, because they knew the Dragon was up so soon. So HWA full control at the moment, while BPI are floundering around their own jungle. And just look at the vision as well. Look at the vision row down towards that Dragon. HWA knew exactly what they were doing. They covered off every little angle they could to try and make that pick in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, BPI, they've got the single ward in there. They've obviously got one in the back of Dragon Pit, which they'd throw at the end. But that was after the fact, after the fight happened. So they just didn't know what was happening. They were too far up lane.
Yeah, definitely an overextension once more. And that was just after me saying BPI getting caught out in skirmishes. It seems to be a rinse and repeat for them. And the kills and gold lead is just constantly extending for HWA. And this, in comparison to the game against Gamers 2, is a different HWA. They don't seem to be kind of fumbling as much as they did.
Yeah, they were losing the lane phase against Gamers 2. And they were losing it hard, no doubt about it. But Blue Buff was stolen away with ease there from HWA. They had the timing on it perfectly. Went in, took it down. Zeitnot, well, he's being aggressive, and why not? Because he's just hammering away on that turret. He's got himself the static shift completed. Complete full item ahead now on, I can never remember his name. It's Ritix. Of course, Tristana.
And
oh dear.
Yes, Crimson could be in trouble. The slow lands. He's forced to get away with the charge, and Leal there to back him up, keep the pig alive. We'll see for how long. And look at this presence in the bot lane once again. HWA so very smart in forcing these fights. This is exactly what they need to do. 21 minutes in. Look at that one auto attack, chunking Ritix down to half HP, and that's a big one.
And they're just going to rotate now to the mid lane because that's where Fabulous is. He's just pushed that wave in. They just come around. Pink ward spotted, so they'll take that as well. Syndra is doing what he can to keep them away, Lille. Oh, Lush went the wrong way there. A little overconfident, I feel, but with Zeitnot nearby, with that static shiv already complete and the rest of his team, why not? Why not just be a little confident? WTC caught by Scatter the Weak there, but again, they're going to move around in force. I think BPI can keep them away from the turret this time around. Or unless they get caught out around the side.
Unless they try and force a fight. Look at Nasus going so aggressive. I don't know what he thinks he can do, what potential he has there. Of course, to be fair to him, HWA's health bars are a little worse for wear, but look at this aggressive play. WTC and Fabulous, they want Ritix. They can't quite chance it with the vision in jungle, though, but they're doing so well in clearing it out. HWA have been here for so long in behind enemy lines, and they're getting away pretty much without a hitch.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, didn't lose anyone. They got a kill, they got a tower. Thank you very much. We're back out again. 7,000 gold advantage continues to climb in the HWA's favor. As of yet, unanswered towers by BPI. Not even close to getting near them either. They're just simply on defensive duties.
I love this for Lissandra recall animations. So good. As she enters her tomb and returns back to base. Look at the gold lead now. 7,000 gold separating these two teams. HWA 4 towers to 0 of BPI, and that's the huge source of where the gold lead is. As we stare at nothingness for a second, Nasus clearing out the vision once more. Oh, yeah, does spot it out as he's going to be picking up that pink ward, and HWA go back to the drawing board, spend even more money. Look at the shopping that's just been done. Rabadons, QSS, Aegis, all going to the HWA side, and they are items, they are echelons ahead.
Yeah, they are miles ahead right now. QSS also picked up by Zeitnot. That's a big deal. It means he's not going to get caught out by that stun that Syndra could throw out, or, of course, Crimson on Sejuani. So things are starting to look a little bit grim for BPI in this first game. Of course, HWA have been very successful in the past in the Turkish scene, of course, finishing second place to Dark Passage, I believe twice. Masterwork. Oh, nearly got the proc off there. Didn't quite get the crit hit they wanted. Doesn't matter. Collateral damage cleans the job up for them. Stomachgod also comes through. He takes down the Sejuani. That's the mid turret going down. They could take more.
They could take whatever they want at this stage. 2 men down. 20-second death timers. Sejuani and Nami locked out of this one. I mean, Lille has no answer for this one. He's going to have to be forced to go way back to base. He's picked up his home guards to get there a little faster. But look at this. Nasus trying to do something. He's got very little.
Ignoring him.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't they? He's just doing so little to them. Oh, the shockwave comes in. Feels like a waste, but they still want to take Nasus down, chop him down to size, but not going to happen. Instead, they pick up the inhibitor as a bit of a consolation prize. Like, oh, we wanted Mao guy, but we'll take your inhibitors. They back away. 24 minutes in, first inhibitor, HWA driving away.
Yeah, 6-0 in turrets now. Big, big lead. Why are they even trying to chase them, trying to stop them? Stomachgod can just walk away from this one. They're just going to turn it back around and get more kills from this. What? What were they thinking? Wow, they get him killed. Great, they took Graves down. Okay.
Congratulations.
Worth, totally. You just gave a bunch of assists to everybody on HWA and another kill. But they did manage to at least get the shutdown on Zeitnot.
Yeah, that's something, and that's going to be a nice bit of gold. Who picked up that one?
It was Syndra.
It was Syndra. So Lille getting that little influx of gold, and that's going to give about 9,100 to the 9,600 of WTC. So comparing the mid laners, actually relatively level in gold, but that's pretty much the only lane
Look at the AD,
where you see similarity in gold. 3,000 gold separating the 2 AD carries, and Zeitnot, yes, he got shut down, but he has got a whole chunk of change that he's been spending. Infinity Edge, Static Shiv, we saw the QSS, which you've already highlighted as a huge item for him, and then got the Berserker Greaves as well, as if he needed more attack speed.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got everything he needs right now. He's got almost build complete. I guess Bloodthirst is probably going to follow with that Vampiric Scepter in there, but Turret's not going to get defended. Ritix did manage to get that first one of the game for BPI. As I mentioned, don't count them out, but HWA are looking far, far stronger in every fight they've had so far. They're going to take this down. This will be their second dragon of the game. This is going to be taken with ease. There's no steal going to come in, barring a sapling toss that could miraculously pick something up. So there is the second dragon. And let's see where they go from here. Will they shove on the top lane? They're sticking around in the bottom, so I guess they're going to shove in this wave. They have already got super minions coming up the mid lane, remember, so they could just shove on through and maybe see if they can get picks. And looking at BPI's position, they may get caught.
There's a lot of potential for picks at this stage, and they do have a little bit of vision. They're well aware of what HWA is bringing their way, and I mean, for BPI, they're just going to recall, gather resources, and hope for the best as they go into this one. The level advantage itself is a bit detrimental to their health, and BPI sitting pretty around this turret, just waiting, well aware of what HWA are about to bring.
Well, they've got their wave of minions, scatter the weak catches. Oh, they've thrown the ulti out, but look at that. They can just turn it straight around, and that's exactly what they do. Stomagod taking note from this one. The Janna ultimate, Lelouch bursting them all away and keeping everybody alive. The Mikhail's also being thrown on Stomagod, kept him alive, and now they got their own to answer with. The Lissandra going in, locking them up. Shockwave not quite enough to take them down, but it doesn't matter. They've got enough around the side. They do get the shutdown bonus on Stomagod, I think it was, but they take the inhib turret, and they may even be able to take the game.
Yeah, looking pretty for them.
Going to back away
at the moment, but HWA, we've seen this before in the previous game against Gamers 2. Very cautious. And, I mean, rightfully so, they're probably going to go ahead, maybe get some vision control around Baron, and can come back to that one once they've done some shopping, or maybe even head there, clear out the enemy jungle, and just be very happy with the 2 inhibs now. They're just taking this very cautious, very clinical in their game style.
Yeah, they have absolutely everything in their favor. 10,000 gold advantage, 2 inhibs down, sweeping out, full coverage of the river, get themselves the Scutter Crab, take away the blue buff, everything on the back out you normally do to save everything you can, every little resource, literally everything BPI were about to push out hard. They're pushing as hard as they can right now. This is all they wanted to do, try and get something from it, and there's just not a lot there to get. Ritix will get himself this mid turret with the help of Crimson tanking it, but that is all.
Yeah, it is all. Just, I mean, BPI taking what they're given, and they're not being given a lot. HWA just running away with this in terms of items as well. Look at that. That Lissandra now, Zhonya's Void Staff, Morello's.
Syndra's got out over at the red buff.
Yeah, I found her.
Oh, manages to turn it back around. The QSS not enough to get out of that. That's a mistake by HWA. Zeitnot getting a little overconfident there, but Leal, they know where he is. He's just going to try and run into the tower, I think.
He picks up the
I
think he knows how much damage that would have done to him. I think that would have probably been his fate sealed. And the Ragnarok use. He doesn't want to let this one go away. Smite it down as he picks that one up. And Stormage just doesn't want to let that one slip through his fingers. Gets the shutdown, of course. It's a huge, big amount of influx of gold for Stormage as if he needed more. And I mean, let's address Olaf's build for a second. He's gone for the locket. And I mean, to me, health, magic resistance, cooldown reduction. Pretty solid pick considering their composition.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine for Olaf. He's just going to go. He's just building the tank. He's the man that's going to be running straight through and charging and screaming at them in his big Viking tones. But absolutely, he's doing exactly what I wanted. And 4-1-8, you can't argue with the Olaf pick, honestly. Seems to be doing a lot better than Crimson 0-4-2 on Sejuani. He's not been too effective. And every time he's been able to use that ulti, it's been countered or somebody else has helped them out. Obviously, Lelouch used the Monsoon last time to just blow them all away. Speaking of Lelouch, of course, he has got that Soul Stealer on there, which is already paying dividends. It starts at 5 stacks now, I believe it is. It looks like it's already at 6 because he got the assist. Yeah, he just got the assist, of course, on Lael, so it's already paying for itself. Yeah,
exactly, and that's the power of the Magi's, especially on Janna, where you really rarely died. 2 deaths so far. And this one, I'm pretty sure in the previous games he's only died about once, so it's very consistent in his lack of deaths. And I mean, when you're as fast as Janna, you can get away from it.
Well, they now have everybody back. Of course, Zeitnot respawning, and they're going to try and take down this. This is big, big time for BPI. This will either go horrifically wrong, and they'll lose the game, or they'll be able to hold on. Instead, they play it cautiously and let HWA walk in and take it. Now they make the move for Baron.
Yep.
Oh no, they're setting up for a kill.
Setting up for a surprise, and I don't know whether or not they're going to get scryed out. As I was about to say, are they going to award it? But even better, scrying out.
That tells me it's something they've done before in Turkey.
Yep, it sounds like something that they're used to expecting from HWA. So the surprise party isn't quite going to happen just yet. But they sent out the invitations, and we can see trying to do it again. HWA setting up for another one. They've got the balloons set. They're trying to get the scrying orb set as well. The scrying orb, I'm talking about the Scuttle Crab. As they do just clear out that vision around Baron. That kind of part's raising some question marks to the BPI side. Do we need to make a move for this? Of course, they really shouldn't at this stage, as they're very much in defensive mode. They've left Nasus to be clean up and clear up these words.
They've been pushed out of position as well. They were so cautiously approaching Baron that they've left their inner turret completely open as HWA move in and take their 8th turret of the game. Will they get on towards the 9th inhibitor? I'm not sure if they're going to go straight for it. Well, they are going straight for it because BPI are letting them. They didn't even get close to getting involved in that one, and Crimson's going to have to turn around and use his ulti here because HWA just running through them.
Raining down damage on them. Shockwave comes in. That's going to be the end of Crimson. Nasus just trying to get away from that. In fact, pushed away by Lelouch, just saying, you're not the target we want. Stormage going low, though. He's going to get shut down by Lil. That's a response from BPI finally. 2 men down already as HWA pick up the inhib, and that's all they want. If they can get away from this one, Scarfree do evade the stun from Syndra, and that's a huge threat. Eliminated.
Yeah, you can see Tristana's going to have to back, and I wonder if HWA make anything from this one. He's going to have to go back, keep those super minions at bay. I think they're just going to try and shove in. Yeah, they're just going to go take the red buff, everything else that they can from the jungle. That's all they're doing. HWA playing it cautiously. As we've said so many times throughout this one, this is their style. This is how it works for them. But they've taken all 3 inhibitors. It's working well.
Yeah, you're right. I think not taking these risks is effective against BPI, because I'm almost certain that in the games against Hard Random, where BPI really shone was when Hard Random made perhaps a close call, perhaps a risky call, and BPI punished them. But when HWA aren't taking risks, they're just doing it by the book and doing it standardly, they pick up another dragon, and that's going to be number 3 now, as they get dangerously close already, 2 away from the 5 dragon buff.
That sneaky crab trying to get away.
He is not interested in that one. Finally taken down for WTC. And we should start taking stock as it does to begin to slow down in the enemy base. Just one inhib has respawned, but still 21-10. And the gold lead is huge now. We're talking about turrets. You mentioned 9 turrets down, just 2 from BPI, and 57,000 to 48.
Yeah, it's a huge advantage. There's no doubt about it. Blue buff's going to get cleared out. Stomachgod's going to take that one away from them. So I don't think Leo's been able to have that blue buff for the entire game. I'm not sure. There may have been once at the beginning. That was about it. But other than that, they've had it on cooldown every single time. Of course, that's where one of the big fights happen. Baron buff being started off. Not a great deal that BPI can do about this one. It's simply a case of HWA closing out the game now.
Yeah, I think you're right. They just want to finish it, put a cherry on it, and start looking towards game 2.
Still got the Santa hat.
Still have that Santa. I mean, no, you're supposed to take your decorations down, Baron. Is it the 6th of January you're supposed to take it down by?
Yeah, well out of date.
Well out of date. As HWA, I mean, they're looking a little worse for wear sometimes. In fact, just Stormage really a little low on health, but that won't take him long to recuperate that. And they're making a move for that mid lane. They want to wrap this one up, put a bow on it, and give it to Baron for Christmas, perhaps, as he's a little bit confused as they are making a move for the Nexus.
So Pink Ward's going to get cleared, and everybody else from HWA moves on in. Super Minions there. Oh, they almost caught out Ritix down the bottom there. So he was trying to keep that wave push, which he did. Managed to get it down. Inhibitor has respawned. That will get cleared out as the Super Minions will respawn. And now it's a case of finding that thick top Nexus turret already taken pretty low. They want to follow in the Super Minion wave that's about to come through. There it is, Baron buff. Everybody gets a little trot on, and now they have a serious problem.
That is a serious problem. The waves are going to keep coming in, keep receiving that Baron buff. Fabulous is going in. Nasus just eliminates Lissandra from the map. She didn't have a chance to Zhonya's as Crimson does go down in response, though. Leo falling low as well. Stormage flashing in to secure that one as he's just wailing on towards Nasus, but he's just so tanky. Frozen Heart, Spectre's Cal, but it's all just in vain. You can see HWA wrap it up, put a bow, as we said already, 34 minutes in, and HWA clinically secure game 1.
So solid game from HWA there. No doubt about it. They were in control throughout that matchup. Good performance from Lille.